Welcome back. Well, the market is pretty steady, so let's welcome on board the management of Lupin to discuss their numbers because it was quite a strong show led by the India branded business as well. Ms. Vinita Gupta, the CEO, Nilesh Gupta, the MD, as well as Ramesh Swaminathan, Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer, is with us on the show right now. Thank you, everyone, for making time and speaking with us. Vinita, let me begin by asking you the US performance. How much was it driven by the latest drug launch that you have done? And even with respect to Spiriva, the generic version of that, were you happy with the kind of performance or it undershot your expectations a bit?
We saw very stable inline business, continued performance on Spiriva and albuterol. So sustained share, 30% share of Spiriva generic, tiotropium, continued performance of albuterol, as well as good new product launch performance with mirabegron as well as doxycycline.
Right. Vinita, so for albuterol, how is it that you see it shaping up in the coming quarters, given the incremental competition which is now coming in from others like Amphastar as well as Amneal?
Right now, it's performed extremely well. We haven't seen additional competitors get in as of yet, and there is also an IP situation with the competitors. Teva has brought claims against both Amneal as well as Amphastar on their IP on the device. So it's not clear when the additional competitors get in. But at this point, albuterol continues to deliver very well, and it has delivered extremely well during the quarter and has continued in the last couple of months.
Sustained market share around 30% for albuterol, etc. But what are the other niche and limited competition launches which are lined up for the next few months and even in FY26?
So in FY25, of course, we ramp up mirabegron. We have doxycycline. We have Predfort that we just got approval for last week. It's a CGT product, so we hope to have a nice upside from it. We expect to launch material injectables like glucagon, hopefully by the end of this year. So good number of products, to help to grow our business from a new product launch perspective. And then into fiscal year 26, we have material products like tolvaptan that we recently got positive, outcome from litigation just last week. We're getting ready to launch tolvaptan April next year, and then have other products like liraglutide, Victoza, and Saxenda products that we would expect to launch mid-calendar next year that would contribute to fiscal year 26, as well as Risperdal Consta out of a Nanomi facility that we filed a couple of quarters ago. We've had a recent FDA inspection, which was fairly positive. So we would expect by mid next year to also get approved with that product. So we would expect material contribution from products like tolvaptan, which of course, being a pretty large product and the 6-month exclusivity will contribute well into fiscal year 26, as well as our injectable products ramping up with the new product launches, as well as continued delivery of our respiratory products.
Nilesh, I want to get you in on the conversation here. All that Vinita talked about just now in terms of new launches. Give us an outlook for the same, what the timeline could be, what the revenue recognition and the size of the market is.
Etanercept in the developed markets, we launched first in Japan, Europe, and Canada all put together. I think it will be between $25 to $30 million.
Right. And Nilesh, talking about the India growth as well, which was better than most estimates, what according to you has driven this and how sustainable does it seem?
As we reported, our India business grew at 18%, but the IRF business, so the formulation business in India grew by 10.5%. So I think 10.5% is the real number to focus on here. The difference between 10.5% and 18% was that we had a lot more institutional business sales within India in the quarter. We are all in on India. I think we have close to 10,000 representatives, 10,000 field force, about 7,500 representatives. We have a great portfolio. As you know, chronic as a part of our overall portfolio is 60%, the highest amongst our peers, and that's been our growth story, and certainly something that we're going to focus on as well. If you see our key therapy areas, diabetes, cardio, respiratory, these are all extremely progressive areas, and we're doing well on these. So if you look at cardio, the market grew at 12%, we grew at 18%. If you look at respiratory, market was very slow, 1.6%, we grew at 6.5%. Diabetes, we are growing slower than the market, and that's because of the in-license portfolio that we have within diabetes. Minus the in-license portfolio, our growth was actually 13.8% in diabetes as well. So as you would know, we have talked about growing at 20 to 30% ahead of the market. We're quite on track with that. So the market we expect would grow at high single digits. So we would aspire to grow at double digit for the foreseeable future.
Sure. Nilesh, and also specifically on the India business, could you help us with the breakup in terms of what the price growth was, what the volume growth is, and also if you can help us understand the rationale behind carving out the trade generics division?
So the volume growth was actually 5%. Price growth was 3.5%, and new products added another 2% to the total growth number. These are obviously internal numbers. As far as the trade generic spin out is concerned, that is we certainly don't expect a large portion of the market to go that way, but we believe that is an area of growth for the market as well as for the company. But it requires a lot of agility and focus, and that was the main reason for us to spin it out into a separate entity. It has a completely separate structure that is driving it, and I think that would be the way to grow it while we focus on the main focus area, which is the prescription business in India.
Okay, point taken, Ramesh, as far as the India business is concerned. But any M&A plans that you have further? Because you're looking at a very good sweet spot right now in terms of how your operations are stacking up. Maybe an opportunity down the line?
So we've just turned cash surplus this particular quarter. So we certainly had the wherewithal to go in for acquisitions if it came to that. And we are an acquisitive company. We are, in fact, looking around for good acquisition propositions in India for sure, and other parts of the globe where it could potentially be bolt-ons, but small, albeit. But for sure, specialty is of great interest to us, and Vinita could speak a lot more about it. So, but clearly, we are acquisitive, and we would like to certainly, raise debt if it came to, because we believe that return on equity could certainly be enhanced if we were to, have debt on our balance sheet.
Right, all of you, thank you so much for highlighting what the quarterly performance has been like, and more importantly, touching upon what the visibility going forward is. Vinita, Nilesh, as well as Ramesh, good to have you guys on board with us. That's Lupin standing up still, strong. 1994 is where the stock is. But let's try and understand what